Welcome to Woods' Crazy Garage, where we're here to just have some fun, fix some things, break some things, and have fun overall. Hello, welcome to Woods' Crazy Garage. Today we will be working on this 2006 Can-Am Outlander. Pretty sure we're having battery problems with it, some kind of electrical issue. So we're going to be going through doing some troubleshooting. Pretty sure it's probably just a battery, but we'll be checking that out and seeing what the deal is today. Currently, this is what it's doing. When you turn the key on to the on position, you get flashing on the dash. Comes up with everything here. It's ready to start. You go to hit the start button and you get nothing. We're getting the clicking noise out of something, so we're going to be running some tests, seeing what's going on with the battery and the electrical system. Alright, on these 2006 Can-Ams up here in the front here, we'll get this opened up, pulled over to the side here. You do have a fuse box here. We might have to check that out, look at some fuses possibly. Back here in the very back, up underneath here, we got the battery up in here. So the first thing what we're going to do is we're going to undo this bungee cord, and then you have to be careful on pulling the battery out. Make sure you don't hit anything metal, get any shocking. This battery has been in this bike for quite a while. So that's why we're pretty sure it's probably the battery, because we rode it in, it rode fine, parked it, went to go back out, restart it the next day, and the battery was dead. So this battery's been in for like 6 years, so that's why we're kind of aiming towards that. So we'll go ahead and set up the camera in another angle, pull that battery out. Once you do get the battery out, you will need a 10mm socket and wrench to get the bolts out of it. So we'll be showing you that, and we'll go ahead and put the ohms meter on it, see what we're getting, and see what the dealio is. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get this battery disconnected or pulled out of here so we can check it. We went ahead and, like I said, we already undid this bungee right here, got that out of the way. And we're going to go ahead and pull this out. Got to kind of lift up. You do have a rubber boot in here that sets in. Watch all your wiring. And we're going to go ahead and pull her out of here. Get her at an angle where we can go ahead and get the ohms meter on her and get some testing done. This is the positive. Here's your negative. You got a bolt here, and then you got a bolt on top here. Alright, we're going to go ahead and get the ohms meter here. Hopefully you can see that in the screen, the ohms meter here. But we're going to go ahead and put the negative right on the wire that goes to the Can-Am here. We're going to go ahead and put the positive on that side right next to the bolts. And yeah, like I expected, we're reading 10.6, 2 volts DC. So looks like we got some kind of battery issue going on here. So I'm going to reset this up to hold these on here, and then we're going to try to turn the bike over and see if that drops. Alright, we got this rigged up. So now we're going to go ahead and turn the bike over, see if that drops any, and see what we get. Yeah, just as I expected, we just turned the bike on to the regular on position, and the battery went ahead and dropped all the way down to 7, 8 DC volts. We turned the bike on to where the lights are should be on, so we're not getting anything there. we're still not getting anything, so I don't think the bike's reading enough voltage. So what we'll do is we can put a battery starter on this thing, see if we can get enough juice to the battery, see if she'll start. Alright, we went ahead and we got the battery hooked up to the charger. We're at 9.9 volts right now. Let's go ahead and bump this charger up. Go ahead and bump her up to 12. We did put her on a start mode. We are up to 14 volts. Let's see if we can turn her on, see what we get here. Alright, we are getting the on message now on the dash, but we are getting a no ECM communication, which could be the battery, could be a fuse relay that we might be chasing, but I'm really thinking it is the battery. We're going to go ahead and tinker with it here, see what we can find. Alright, as you can see, we are getting a no communications data from the ECM, so we're going to have to look at this. We also are not getting a park meter, so it doesn't know what gear it's in. It did come up briefly when I first turned it on, but I'm really thinking that it is the battery, so we're going to go ahead and probably switch out that battery. We'll get another battery in there and see what we got. Alright, what we got here is another battery to go in it. This is an EverStart AMG. Can-Ams take, well, this one takes the 20 IBSH is what it takes. If you've never done one of these batteries before, they do come without acid in them, so you do have to put the acid in them. Does come with bolts and nuts. We'll go ahead and pull. This is the acid here. This is the battery here. Go ahead and set that over there. Set that here. We'll go ahead and open this up. This here is the acid. Alright, we're going to go ahead and we'll open this guy up here. Get our acid out. We'll put that back into the box here. We'll go ahead and open this up. This is what's going to go in here once you have it full of acid. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove these tape here. Go ahead and throw that all in there. What you can see hopefully in here is inside here there are little pokers for basically poking these caps. When you flip it over, you push it down and it'll pre-poke the caps for you and start putting the acid into the battery. Alright, we went ahead and rearranged things here, so either you'll see me do this correctly or you'll see me make a big mess. So basically you turn her upside down, you line it up, and then you want to make sure you push evenly across all the things. It'll pop down just like that. You can actually see the air bubbles flowing up as it is putting the acid into the battery. And we'll go ahead and just let that sit there for a minute. Let it bubble down. You want to make sure they're all going down pretty much evenly. We're looking good. I think what's going on with the four-wheeler is we might have one or two of these cells that are bad, and the ECM is picking that up on the four-wheeler, that there is a bad cell or two bad cells in there. So we'll go ahead and let this finish up, and I'll show you here in a minute what it looks like. Alright, it is all in there, all the acid. We went ahead and wiggled it around a little bit, make sure we didn't have any acid remaining. So now we'll go ahead and pull that out, and you can see how it pokes holes in this and fills her up. Don't think I can get a good enough shot down in there, but you can see the acid bouncing around in there a little bit off the reflection of the light, maybe not. Alright, once it's full, here's your cap, and what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and put this right down in here, line up the holes, and push it on down in, and what it'll do is it will permanently seal so you can't reopen it. Alright, we got her all sealed down, all good, and now we'll go ahead and probably get a rubber mallet, tap those real lightly, and go ahead and finish getting them seated down. Alright, got a little rubber mallet here. We're just going to go through here, tap this down real good, make sure, and we're not hitting very hard, you're just giving it some little taps. Also when you do this, you can't see my face, but you got to make sure you have safety glasses on. Probably should be wearing gloves because you're messing with acid, but I've done this a couple of times. Doesn't make it right or wrong. Personal preference, I guess. Alright, we got that nice and seated now. Now we can go ahead and we'll probably go ahead and put the trickle charger on this and let it trickle charge, make sure everything is good. Alright, we got the charger over here. We're going to go ahead and throw the battery charger on it, see what we got here. We did go ahead and we set this to 12 volt AMG, which is the type of battery this is. It is a AMG battery. It is set on winter, so it is cold here a little bit today. So we're just going to let this sit here and charge. While this is charging, we're probably going to go ahead and we'll take the battery out of the four-wheeler and go ahead and make sure those terminals on battery is nice and clean and ready to go. Alright, you know, one thing I hope is these videos come out good, because, you know, this is like maybe my second one doing it. So anyways, we got the battery here. We're going to go ahead and disconnect it here. So you got a bolt on this side, you got another bolt on this side. We'll go ahead and remove those. Always be careful while doing the positive that you don't short it out on anything. So we're going to go ahead and turn her here, and I got a wrench, 10mm wrench, and we're going to go ahead and take this one off here, as long as I don't hit the camera and knock it off. And once you get her started, she should just come right on out. Alright, we got that one out. Got it disconnected. The cable wires look nice. I'll go ahead and pull this one out a little bit. And you can't get a wrench in here on this one, and that's why it's best to use a socket. 10mm. Go ahead and get her undone here. Alright, we got that one undone. Wire looks good. Looks like we do have a little bit of corrosion buildup in here, but you can see the battery terminal itself is a little oblonged here for some reason. Could be because when we had it out we were bending it. So we got that out, so we'll go ahead and check this over with the other battery and make sure we're good to go. Alright, I went ahead and changed this over. The battery's now reading at 12.69, which is pretty crazy, but we'll go ahead and throw this on, see what it does here. And this is what it did earlier. You can see immediately it goes to green, then it flashes red, and then there's a little repair thing down here. So this charger is picking up an issue with this battery. I went ahead and moved this a little closer to the camera here so you can actually see where it's flashing red, showing a little repair guy going back and forth. So there definitely is something going on with this battery. So we'll go ahead and we'll move everything back to this battery and let it continue to charge. One thing you do want to check when you put the battery back in here is all your guides. This is bent in a little bit, so we're going to bend this out. Make sure everything fits correctly. Make sure the rubber here is good, which it still looks nice and clean and good. And we went ahead and cleaned that up. And we went ahead and cleaned up the positive one a little bit more. Now, one thing that I did do earlier is we did remove this fuse cover here. In here, this is the only fuses on this bike. You got 3 relays right here, and then we do have some fuses in here. Not quite sure what they all go to. I've never actually had to mess with this, so this is the first time having to look at this and see what's going on. I did go through and checked the fuses, and they were all good. Right here on the top of the fuse there's 2 little metal tabs, so you can just put your probes right on there and check that. So I can show you guys how I did that here in a minute. Alright, I'm going to go ahead and show you how I check the fuses. We're going to go ahead and switch this over to make some noise. So I got it where when you touch these two, it makes a nice beeping sound. That way you know you're getting a connection. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go through here, check these guys, and I'll be quiet while I do it. Good. 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 Nothing on that one, nothing on that one. And that one is good, and there's nothing there. Good. I'll have to pull up a diagram on this thing and see what these extra fuses are for. Like I said, I've never been in here and looked at this, but it is nice and clean, and for the amount of dirt this thing sees, I'm very impressed with the seal around it. Alright, we're back here. The battery is now fully charged. So we're going to go ahead and install it and see what we have. So I'm going ahead and putting these guys in right now. I clean those all up so they're ready to go for holding the bolts when I put those in. Go ahead and put this up in here. Make sure we got the negative on this side. Good to go. We're going to get that bungee out of our way. Go ahead and set up our negative wire here. Get it in place. Go ahead and put the nut in, get that started. All right. Go ahead and get this guy in here, get this all tightened up. Make sure that's snug. I'll go ahead and swing her around here. Get the positive wire lined up here. And in place. Oh, put that guy in the wrong way. Oh no, it's on top. All right. That guy in there. All right, go ahead and get this in here. Make sure we're not touching any metal anywhere here. Get that good and tight. A couple ooga doogas will do it. Alright, I got the battery in there. Now we just need to pull this guy up and around. This wiring out of the way here. Get this over here. I'm just going to kind of get everything set in place. And now we're going to go turn it over and see what we got. Alright, good news is turned everything over. We got headlights on now. So now we're going to go ahead and fire it up. See how loud she gets here in a minute. Go ahead and move this camera back a little bit. Alright. Alright, so we know it was the battery, which is very nice because I didn't want to have to chase a wiring issue on this thing. I heard some of the wiring issues are nightmares. But yeah, we went ahead and one of the other things I did while the bike was running, you saw me do, is I went ahead and checked the battery to make sure it was charging while it was running. And I did have the headlights on up in front, and I also had my spotlights on, and it was charging at 14 volts, and it was a little over 14 volts, and now it's at 13. So I wanted to make sure that the electrical system was charging and working correctly, which it is. So now I'm going to go ahead and put this battery back in its little cubby hole and button everything up. Get a screwdriver here. Kind of want to get that last little rubber boot up here. These rubber boots are nice and a nightmare all at the same time. Just getting her worked in there and getting it to sit right. There we go. Now we got her up. It's in there. Make sure everything is good. I did go ahead and bent that back out a little bit. I got a funny feeling one of the times I moved one of my trailers, bumped that, bent it in. But go ahead and fasten that down. And I think we're good. You can go ahead and see up in there, hopefully, how it fits all in there. Bungees in. Everything's nice and neat. And good. Alright, just to recap, we did have a bad battery. So this battery gets to go back for a core charge. Can't believe they're charging $12 for core charges these days. That's pretty crazy, but we know that battery is shot. Got the wheeler all buttoned back up, put the license plate back on. Got the battery in there, everything secured, rubber boot all in place. One thing I did do is tuck the negative wire up in there a little bit more, and went ahead and buttoned everything up. Probably next video will be a new seat cover. I did get a new one to put on here, so I'll probably be doing another video on that pretty soon. This is actually the new cover I got that'll be going on here. I just gotta pull this one off, take the staples out, and we're ready to go. We got her all buttoned up. We're going to take her for a little test spin here and see how she does.